All right, so we've been multiplying fractions. Today we're going to put that together and we're going to be solving equations by multiplying fractions, a little bit of connecting the two, a little bit of new stuff today. You'll see a little bit of it all. All right. Our first thing that I want to refresh us on is our reciprocal. This was something that we used in our keep, flip, switch. Keep, switch, flip. Basically, remember, that is when we flip the top and bottom numbers to make our reciprocal. And the key importance of this is if we turn 2 over 5 into 5 over 2, this can be useful because if we can multiply them out across each other, 2 times 5 is going to be 10, 5 times 2 is going to be 10, and it is always equal to 1. So we can multiply our reciprocal by a fraction to cancel that out and get back to 1. For another example here, let's do 7 over 8, multiply that by 8 over 7. We're going to use that reciprocal to cancel out this fraction and make it equal to a 1. That's going to be 56 on top, 56 on bottom, same as 1. So when you use that reciprocal to cancel out a fraction, I'm going to show you an example right now. We're asking us to solve 5a equals 1/7. Well, I know that 5 is the same as 5 over 1, so I'm going to rewrite this as 5 over 1a equals 1/7. Now, to get a all by itself, I am going to multiply by the reciprocal. I know that it'll cancel out and make a 1 there. That'll leave nothing behind, okay? Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other, so I'm also going to have to multiply this side by 1/5. That's our reciprocal. I notice this. I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. I'm doing this because right now, if I wanted to divide a 5, I don't know how to do 1/7 divided by 5. That's going to be a weird double fraction. So instead, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal here. This is going to be 1 times 5 is going to be 5 on top. 5 times 1 is going to be 5 on bottom. That's going to be behind 1. That means just an a is going to be left behind there. Those will cancel each other out. Now on the other side, we're multiplying fractions. We go straight across. We leave with 1 behind on top and 35 behind on bottom. A is 1/35. I use that reciprocal. I use the opposite of it. I know that 5 is the same as 5 over 1. I multiplied it by the reciprocal, 1/5, to cancel each other out. Because I know this rule right up here. They'll cancel each other out. So why not take advantage of it? Let's do one more. We got 2y equals 7/9. I'm going to rewrite this now as 2 over 1y equals 7/9. Okay, I'm going to multiply by reciprocal to get y by itself. The reciprocal of 2 over 1 is going to be 1 over 2. That's going to be leave behind a 2 over 2 over here, which is the same as 1. So it's going to leave behind 1y equals, multiply these straight across, 7 on top, 18 on bottom, y equals 7/18. Bam. Using that reciprocal, nice and easy, makes these simple. Multiply by the reciprocal, you can cancel that one side right out, and you just have a simple multiplication of fractions problem. Here's a little tip here. Sometimes you are allowed to simplify fractions by finding those common factors. If two things have something in common, to simplify them, you can just simplify both of them. I'll give you an example of that right now. So right here, I'm thinking, how can I get m by itself? Oh, well, look at this. They already set us up a fraction. All we're going to do is we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply reciprocal. Because we know we can cancel out that 4/5. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Whenever you have a fraction sitting in front of a variable there, multiply that by the reciprocal. That'll cancel those right out. 4 times 5 is 20 over 20. Those cancel each other out. That leaves behind a 1m on this side. Over here, we're just doing some simple multiplication. Before I get started, I'm going to show you where I can simplify this. I see a 10 right here. I see a 5 right here. I know those are both divisible by 5. So I'm going to divide this by 5. I'm going to divide this by 5. I am allowed to do this. You can simplify when there are common factors on both top and bottom. We have a common factor. Our common factor is 5, so it's going to leave behind 9 over 2 times 1 over 4. I'll show you how those will work out the same in a second here. Multiply these straight across. We got 9 on top, 8 on bottom. If I had done this one right here, if I hadn't simplified it, we would have had 45 on top, 40 on bottom, with the 10 times 4, 5 times 9. And we can divide both of those by 5, and we would get, you got it, 9/8. Turn that into our mixed fraction here. We got 1 full fraction and 1/8 left over. M equals 1 1/8. We're using that reciprocal big time today. We're going to do the same thing right here. In order to get this D by itself, I want to undo that fraction. So I'm going to times by the reciprocal. 4 times 5 is going to be 20. 20 on bottom. That leaves behind a 1. Same thing on the other side. This leaves behind 1. Over here, we got to multiply whatever we do to that side to this side. 20 on top, 20 on bottom. That is also going to be 1. So we have 1 equals D. We're going to get a few more examples here. Repping this reciprocal. We have some negatives in here. Don't let those fool you. Okay, we have negative 14 over 25k equals 8 over 15. I'm going to multiply by reciprocal to get that k by itself. The reciprocal of this is going to be still negative, just like that. There's our reciprocal. Whatever I do to one side, I got to do the other. It doesn't really matter if this negative is on top or bottom, because in the end of the day, it's still going to be a positive number divided by or times a negative number. Our answer is going to be negative either way. So right here, it doesn't even really matter what these are, because I know that 25 times 14 is going to be the same as 14 times 25. Those are going to cancel out. We multiplied with the reciprocal. We can just cancel those out. Those are going to equal 1. If you need one more quick example of that, I'll show you a brief one here. We got 3 over 9 times 9 over 3. We're using the reciprocal there. Leaves 27 on top, 27 on bottom. 27 divided by 27 is 1. We're doing the same thing right here. That's what that reciprocal is going to do for us. Leave behind a 1. So then we can just work with that variable. All right, now here I'm going to multiply straight across. I got that 8 times negative 28. I should get negative 200 here. Negative 200 on top. And on bottom, we've got that 15 times 14. And we got 210 on bottom. Another way I could have done this, right here, if I look at these, I can simplify right now. Are there common factors on top and bottom? Yes, this can be divided by 5. This can be divided by 5. This can be divided by 2. And this can be divided by 2. I'm finding the similars on top and bottom. That's going to leave behind 4 over 3 times negative 5 over 7. It should be equivalent to the same fraction if we did this right, and we're going to get negative 20 on top, negative 20 or positive 21 on bottom, and look at that. Those are the same fraction. There's our simplest form right there. Easy peasy. All right, here we go again. We're using that reciprocal to cancel this out. We have negative 6 over 7. Let's switch that up and go negative 7 over 6. Whatever you do to the top and bottom, whatever you do to one side, we got to do to the other. These are going to cancel each other out, leaving us with R over here and over here. Let's see if we have any commons. I see this can be divided by 3, and this can be divided by 3. That would bring me to 1 over 4 times negative 7 over 2. That's going to leave behind negative 7. Multiply tops, multiply bottoms over 8. Double check it using this one. We got negative 21 over 24. Those can both be divided by 3. And perfect. Use that reciprocal to cancel out those fractions attached to a variable. Use that reciprocal. All right, we got some mixed numbers. Our key right here, I got it for you. All we have to do, these are do the exact same as long as we make them into improper fractions. So let's do it. we've got one full fraction here and a 5/8 extra. I can also think of 1 times 8. I know it's going to be 8 over 8 is our full fraction, plus that 5/8. And we're going to get 13/8 n equals 26. Now we pull out that reciprocal. Let's multiply it by the reciprocal to cancel that out. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. Those are going to cancel each other, leaving us with n equals 26 over 1. I can put that right over 1 because it's a whole number. I know anything over 1 is the same thing. I'm thinking, is there anything that we can make this simpler? Those common factors. I see one right here. It's a big one. Let's divide that by 13 and divide that by 13 on top and bottom. That leaves behind 2 over 1 times 8 over 1. And we're going to get 16 over 1, which is the same as 16. We can double check it if we do this. 26 times 8 is 208 over 13. 208 divided by 13 is, in fact, 16. So I just divided by each of those by 13 to make it a little bit easier for us. There's one on top and bottom. We can do that. All right, let's do it again. Remembering to make these improper fractions. I love making everything improper. I think it always makes it easier to make an improper fraction. It might take a little bit more work, but it is worth it. All right, I see we got 3 full fractions. We got 3 2 over 2s. Or you can think of it as 3 times 2, and you can get a 6 over 2 plus the extra 1/2. And we're going to get 7 over 2q equals 28. Cancel that out by multiplying each side by the reciprocal. Done, done. And we're going to turn this one over 1. Q equals 28 over 1 times 2 over 7. I see these can both be divided by 7. And we got 4 over 1 times 2 over 1. And we got 8 on top, 1 on bottom, same as 8. Last one here, we got mixed numbers on both sides, so we're going to have to hit them both up with improper fractions. Let's do -2 times 4. That is going to be -8. So we got 8/4 plus extra 3/4. So we're at -11/4 h on this side. And on this side, we have -12 times 2. So we're going to get 24 over 2 plus the extra 1/2. -25 over 2. Okay. We got that set up. Our next step here, multiply by that reciprocal. Multiply that by -4 over 11. Those are going to cancel each other out. Multiply whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. I know it's getting to be a lot of writing. All right, now that I'm here, I can look at these and I can think, what can I cancel these out by? I could divide this by 2 and this by 2. It doesn't help a whole lot, but maybe a little bit. These are -25 over 1 times -2 over 11. Finally, multiply those straight across. We're going to get -50 over 11. And we can turn that back into a mixed number. I know it goes in 4 times, that's 44. So we can get h equals -4. And there's going to be 6/11ths left. I know that one took a few steps. They can get a little bit tricky. I know this unit is a little bit tough. If you need that extra help, come into office hours, and I'd love to help you out with these. Otherwise, you all have a great rest of your day, and good luck.